Today, I'm going to show you how to legally steal $250,000 from the bank. This is a completely legal method. This is 0% interest credit, and there's no income verification or tax returns needed. Now, the first thing we must do is we must master our personal credit. I don't care how much time this takes you, you must get this right if you want the best results. Now, the first thing you can do to jumpstart your personal credit journey is get added as an authorized user to someone in your family or a friend that has an amazing credit card with a high credit limit, preferably being over $10,000, a low credit utilization, preferably being under 10%, and a long credit age, preferably being over 5 years. If you can get them to call the number on the back of that card and say, hey, add my friend Colin as an authorized user, they will send out another card with my name on it, and that credit history will be added to my report. So I get to inherit that history and jumpstart my entire journey. So now when I go and apply for my first credit card, it already shows that I have a high age, low utilization, and a high credit limit across my other accounts. This is very important. Now, that's step one. Step two is you need to go and create an LLC. We're going to be needing to use this once we get to the business side of things. So go on LegalZoom.com, create an LLC, make the name something random. Don't make it have anything financial or trading in the name. That's high risk. That's a red flag to lenders right away. They won't lend to you. Okay. Also, very important, pick a low risk industry type, meaning consulting, marketing, advertising. If you put anything in banking, trading, real estate, you're going to get denied. Okay. Step three, we need to open business checking accounts with the following banks. Now, this example I'm showing you is for a client that I help fund in Arizona. So each state is different. And if you want a list of all the states and all of the banks in those states that offer 0% funding, make sure you click the link down in the description below and you can apply to work with us on a one-on-one basis. Now, for this example in Arizona, they have incredible tier one banks at their disposal. They have access to Chase, Bank of America, and US Bank. So you want to go ahead and open up bank accounts, business bank accounts with all three of these banks and season the accounts. This means leaving money in those accounts for 30 days or more. Okay, this is going to show that you are building a relationship with that bank. Now, this is where we're going to get into the nitty gritty. Okay, it's very important that you stay patient during this process and you do exactly what I show you here. Okay, this is how you're going to not have any mistakes, how you're going to grow perfect history, and how you're going to advance into business credit seamlessly. Okay, the first card I want you to get is a Freedom Unlimited with Chase. Yes, you can get approved for this as a first card as long as you followed step one. Because with step one, now you have sufficient history to get approved at Chase directly without having to get a secured card at Capital One or any of these other low tier banks. So this Freedom Unlimited, you should get approved anywhere between $500 to $2,000. And what's awesome about getting this for your first card is you already have access to Chase Ultimate Rewards points. You get a 20,000 point sign up bonus and you get 0% for 15 months. Now, you want to use this card for 91 days. This is how we're going to build our history. Okay. After the 91 days is up, make sure you're paying your card off 3 days before the statement date. You never want to leave balances past the statement date because we always want to report a 0% utilization. Okay. Once that utilization is reporting at 0% and you've been using this for 90 days, on the 91st day, we can go ahead and apply for a United Mileage Plus Explorer card. Now, the reason I like this one is because it's an intermediate card. Okay, you're going to obviously get some perks at United. You get free check bags, club lounge access, 60,000 point sign up bonus, and you are going to get a higher credit limit on this card, which is exactly what we need in order to segue into this next advanced card, the Sapphire Reserve. But first, we want to make sure that we're spending for 90 days on this new card. Also, you need to keep this card active, the first one. So make sure you put like a Netflix subscription or something on there just to keep it active. And now we want to prioritize this card for the history. Okay, after 90 days has been done and you check your credit report on Identity IQ and it's showing you that the utilization's at 0 and you have perfect payment history, now we can go ahead and we can apply for either the Sapphire Reserve, which I recommend, or you can apply for the Sapphire Preferred, which is going to give you a 100K sign-up bonus, but you're not going to get the 3X on food and travel, which in my opinion is 100% worth it. Now, this card is a minimum $10,000 credit limit on the Sapphire Reserve. If you do choose to go the preferred route, I would recommend calling in and upgrading to the Reserve after 1 year, and they'll do that without an inquiry for you. Okay. If you get the Reserve, you get a 60,000 point sign-up bonus, and you get the 1.5x multiplier when you redeem for travel inside of the Ultimate Rewards portal through the Chase Sapphire Reserve card. Okay, once again, we want to use this card for a 91-day period before we move on to the next step. In addition to all of these steps, we need to make sure you have at least one of the following primary accounts: either a mortgage, a personal loan, a pledge loan, a car loan, or a student loan. The reason why I want you to have one of these in addition to all three of these cards in this authorized user is because this is going to widen your credit mix, which is extremely important for having an optimized file going into the business credit side. So let's talk a little bit more about credit optimization and what banks are looking for when they're going to approve these cards. Okay, now I went ahead and I took the exact personal credit optimization checklist from our funding company, and I'm going to show you exactly what we look for on all of our clients' files before we pass them into the funding stage. So the first thing we look for is, are the fraud alerts turned off? Typically, when you're applying for credit cards or when you're doing inquiry removal or any credit repair, they're going to put fraud alerts on your file. This is a big no-no when doing a business credit sequence because you're not going to be able to get those instant approvals. We need to have those instant approvals to get multiple cards at once. So make sure all your fraud alerts are turned off on Equifax, TransUnion, and Experian. Next, we want to make sure that we have under 2 inquiries or less in the last 6 months before going and applying for business funding. After that, 10% utilization or less across all of our personal revolving accounts, meaning credit cards. Do we have a good authorized user reporting? Okay, maybe you don't need one because you have amazing credit age. But if our client does lack out on the age, and let's say they only have 2 years of average age, we can easily up their age by just adding a temporary AU. We could either purchase this from one of our partners, or we can just use a family member if they have one at their disposal. Okay, this is going to help get their credit limit up and their age up and lower their utilization if they need help with that. Is everything accurately reporting? Okay, is your personal information on your credit file up to date? Are your business informations up to date? Okay, you need to make sure everything's up to date. This is very important. Okay, primary accounts. Do you have 5 personal primary accounts active on your personal file? If not, we need to work on this. We need to add more primaries. Do you have business bank accounts funded and seasoned with capital at all of the business banks that we're applying to? Okay, as I said before, if we're in Arizona and we're planning on getting tier 1 banks with Chase and US Bank and Bank of America, we need to have all of those bank accounts opened, seasoned for at least 30 days. Now, do we have too high of personal credit limits? Yes, you've heard me right. You can have too high of a limit on the personal side, which can actually negatively affect your chances of getting approved for massive credit limits on the business side. And that's much more valuable because obviously that's at 0%. Okay, so imagine if you have a 40K credit limit on your Sapphire Reserve, which sometimes you can get that. I would call in on the back of that card and I would ask for them to decrease my credit limit because Chase has an internal back-end system. When they're going to approve me for a business card, they're going to look at all my available credit limits across all accounts on personal and business. So if they see I got 40K on a Sapphire Reserve, they're probably going to only approve me now for 30K instead of 50K. So all I had to do was call in and say, hey, can you lower it? I only need about 20K. They'll lower it down to 20 or 25. And then now you have freed up capital to get approved for higher limits on the business side. Okay. Once again, business info verification. Make sure everything is verified on the business side. And then your NICS code and your SIC code. Okay. Do you have a low risk industry type? If not, you need to go and change this. You can do this online with the IRS, or not the IRS, with the on a business website for your state you have the LLC in. Okay. So all of this together, right? This is all what makes up your credit score. Okay. So we want to make sure that we have optimal length of history. We want to make sure that we have not too many new accounts, right? This is your inquiries, 2 or under. We want to have really ideally 10% or less utilization to get the highest limits. We want to have a wide credit mix. That's why I said not only credit cards, but you got to have either a mortgage, a car loan, or a personal loan, something in that nature. And then also your payment history makes up 35%. So we want to have no derogatory marks, no late payments, perfect payments on all of our accounts across the board. Now, once this is done, you're ready to get into business funding. And if this seems like a lot for you and you're like, hey, this sounds great, but there's no way I'm going to be able to keep up to date with all this. I don't even understand what this means. Well, good news is we can do this for you. We have a funding company that's completely done for you. It's a $500 application fee, and we take 10% on the back end of whatever we get you. We do everything with you. We hold your hand. We make sure that you get your fraud alerts off, your hard inquiries. This is actually our internal back end system for one of our clients. So this is a client's enrolled. He's already passed the optimization phase. As you can see, all of his steps are completed, 12 out of 12. And he went through this, and we went through this with him. We also customize it to your file. So we'll look up your accounts. We'll let you know, this limit's too high. We need to get this down. And we give you, actionable instructions on how to do this. And we have a team of 20 that work with you directly to make sure everything is done. Now, this client has already been passed off into funding because he completed his optimization file, and now he's done. He just gets to sit back, relax. We're going to get him up to $200,000 at 0% because his file is so strong on the personal side. So if you do have a strong file and you're a busy professional and you're looking to get maximum funding of $200,000 or more at 0%, you can utilize our team and our resources. We can do all the heavy lifting for you, and you just pay us a success fee on the back end. If you're interested in doing that, make sure you go ahead and click the link in the description to book a credit discovery call with my team. Okay, now with that being said, let's get into the good stuff so you can do this all by yourself. Okay, as I said, I'm not holding anything back. Some of you might have seen my last video showing you how to get 100K at 0%, but this is the full guide on how to get 250K at 0%. We are stepping it up on a whole new level. So lock in and let's do it. So now that we have all of that done, we have 2 inquiries or less in the past 6 months. It is time to apply for the business cards. Now, the first business card I want you to apply to is either going to be the Amex Business Platinum or the Amex Business Gold. The reason why I want you to start here is because this gets our foot in the door at Amex. Okay, if you already have an Amex card, you can ignore this step and you can go straight into getting the business cards at 0%. If you don't, this is going to get our foot in the door. They're easy approval. They're going to pull 1 inquiry if we're a brand new customer to them. And this is going to give us incredible benefits as well. The Platinum gives you the Centurion Lounge. It's a charge card, so you have a spending power. And if you spend on this thing a lot and you're a business owner, for me, for example, I have up to $250,000 of spending power on a single transaction. So your leverage is huge. You also get 1.5x on purchases over $5,000. And like I said, the most important thing is we're getting our foot in the door with Amex. Now we have a relationship, and now we can go ahead and get approved for the cards we're really looking for. If you want the best approval odds, what I would do is spend on this card for 1 to 3 months before you go ahead and apply for the 0% ones. Okay. Now, let's also cover some hacks, okay, about our business credit applications before we get into the cards in the specific order. Okay. Now, first, if the bank offers a relationship manager, you need to build a relationship with them and apply for these business cards through the business RM. Okay, this is going to be the biggest hack because you can request a specific limit and they will work directly with the underwriter to get you approved. You now have human resources on your side instead of just some robot on the back end that's just firing you through some algorithms and trying to get you approved. So RMs are your best friend. Build relationships with them. Now, on the applications, you are always going to want to say that you are employed. Okay. A lot of us are entrepreneurs applying for these cards, but even if you're an entrepreneur, I'm employed by my own business. Okay. It makes a huge difference. Banks don't want to lend to entrepreneurs and people that are self-employed. It's way more risky. Okay. So always say you're self-employed. Be optimistic with your estimated revenue and your monthly spend. Okay, like I said in the beginning of this video, there is no income verification, there's no tax returns needed. This is all projected revenue of your business. Why would we even get into business if we're not optimistic and we're not planning on making a lot of money? Okay, so when I fill out these applications, I'm always optimistic and I always do well with my businesses. I've opened multiple 7-figure businesses. So I always say, yeah, I'm going to make $650,000 this year. I'm going to spend $40,000 a month, right? We want to juice up those monthly and our revenue goals, right? Because that is what they're going to approve us on, okay? Based off of those numbers, right? So always be optimistic. And then finally, always think expansion, right? Think how big this business is going to become, right? Why would you only have one employee? Don't you want to expand your team, automate, create systems, and scale? I'm always putting that. I'm planning on having at least 3 to 5 employees in my business. Okay, so more employees, the better. Now, with all of this in mind, we are ready to start our application sequence. Now, it's very important that we go in this specific order. Okay, so we are going to obviously start with this. We get this approved. We got our foot in the door. We're going to spend on it for 1 to 3 months. And then we're going to go ahead and we're going to apply for an Amex Business Plus. Okay, this is a 0% card for 12 months. And if you are approved, I want you to immediately apply for the cash. Okay, now, once you get this card in the mail, you can call the number on the back if you are not happy with the limit you were approved for, and you can call in and request a 3 times credit limit increase of whatever number you got. And Amex is very likely to approve it. Okay, now on this next card that you get in the mail, you can also call in and request a 3x credit limit. Maybe you don't get it on the second card, but if you got it on the first card, now you have much more credit at 0%. Okay, so these are the first 2 cards at 0%. Now, with that being said, even though we just got 3 cards, we only got 1 hard inquiry for all 3 of those cards because Amex only does 1 pull. And then once you're in their system, it's soft pulls from there on out. Okay, now moving on to Chase. These are going to be the best 0% cards. They are known to give the highest limits. I personally have $115,000 on one of these cards. Okay, so when you fill this out, you want to apply with the relationship manager, right? Amex doesn't have RMs in person. Chase does. And you want to go to your local Chase branch, meet with them, set up an appointment so that you can apply directly through that business relationship manager. Okay, you're going to request a higher limit with them. These cards come with huge sign-up bonuses. When I got my last Inc. Unlimited, I got a 100K sign-up bonus. Okay, so once you're approved for this card, then you can go and apply for the Business Inc. Cash. Okay, do not apply for this one if you were denied on this one. But if you followed all the steps correctly, you should not be getting denied. Okay, now that is the first round of our first credit stack. Okay, all in all, we should have over $50,000 worth of credit limits here. And if you did everything right and you really seasoned your account, you should have up to $100,000 in credit limits across all of these cards. Okay. Now, moving on to round 2, because I promised you I would give you the sauce today. I'm not holding anything back. Okay. Now, we've only leveraged 2 of the tier 1 banks. Now we're going to go for the other 2. So the first thing we have to do is we have to wipe the business inquiries that we just got from Amex and Chase because we just got 2 brand new inquiries. Okay, that is a no-go. Now we have about 4 inquiries. If we were to just go in and apply to Bank of America and US Bank, we would not be getting approved. So we are going to use a hard inquiry removal guide. I have one inside of Credit Class right here. You know, we have a full video breakdown. We give you the modules. We give you everything that you need to actually go ahead and do this for yourself. Or you can pay a credit repair company to do the hard inquiry removal yourself. But that needs to be done. However you're going to do it, you need to remove those inquiries. All right. Once you have wiped those business inquiries, now it is time for round 2. Okay, and with this second round, we're only going to get 2 more inquiries across these 2 banks because we could double dip. They just pull 1 and you get 2 cards. They pull 1, you get 2 cards. Okay, and then we could also wipe these inquiries once we're done and go into round 3. Okay, so what we're going to do here is we're going to start off with Bank of America. Now, Bank of America has a 2, 3, and 4 rule. Okay, you can only have 2 cards with them in 30 days, 3 cards within 12 months, and 4 cards within 24 months. So they do have 3 business cards at 0% interest, but we'd only be able to get approved for 2 of them at once. And then after we wait 30 days, we could go ahead and get the 3rd one. Okay, but personally, if we're just trying to max this out and do it as fast as possible, I'd rather just get these 2, then move on to US Bank, get their 2, and then after that, we can go ahead and come back and get this last one after we wipe those inquiries. Okay, so Bank of America, we're going to go ahead and get the Business Advantage Travel Rewards Card. This comes with a 30,000 point sign-up bonus, unlimited 1.5x points, and 0% for 9 months. Then we're going to move on and get this one, the Business Advantage Unlimited Cash Rewards Card. It comes with a $300 statement bonus, 3% cash back, and 0% for 9 months. Remember, apply with the relationship managers and keep these tips in mind when you're filling out these applications. Okay? Next up, we're going to apply for the US Bank Business Platinum Card. This is a 0% for 12 months. And then once we get that approved, we can go ahead and apply right away for the Business Triple Cash. This is 0% for 12 months and 1% cash back on everything. Okay, if you did all these steps correctly, you now have another $100,000 or more on all of these cards. And all these combined would be around $200,000 to $250,000 at 0% interest that mostly you have for 12 months, and then 2 of them you have for 9 months. Okay, now if you're still not satisfied, don't worry, because I take full advantage. I'm not leaving any money on the table, and I'm going in for round 3. So I'm wiping my business inquiries, and now I'm going to hit all the smaller banks in the state of Arizona. Now, of course, I'm not going to go on and do this whole entire thing on this YouTube video, but if you want access to our entire Arizona database and all of the banks in that state with the links to the bank websites, with the relationship managers for each specific bank, and the importance of the order you should be applying in for how much money these banks give out, then make sure you go ahead and click the link in the description to book a credit discovery call with us so I can show you exactly how we can help you. Okay, now, with all of this being said, if you want us to do this for you, okay, you can go ahead and book a credit discovery call like I just said, and we can find the best option for you. If you're a busy professional and you want this done for you, we can do it for you. If you're someone that wants to empower yourself and take action and have these resources at your disposal for the rest of your life so you can fund yourself on a brand new business and wipe the inquiries and do it again and again and again, and you want a network to communicate with on how to invest this 0% money, and you want some investment options on how to do it, we have over 6 investment options inside of Credit Class where I show you all of the ways that I've used 0% capital over the past 6 years and have successfully started 6 different businesses with my capital. Okay, we have many options. We have a lot of people here to help you. So go ahead, if you haven't already, and book a credit discovery call. And with all that being said, I hope this helps, and I hope you go ahead and take action and you get yourself $250,000 from the bank.